It started with a beach party. Fireworks, music, the 4th of July. Supposed to be a good time. Family vacation, memories in the making. But for me, it turned into a moral battleground. My cousin? Let's just say we're very different people. I've got a girlfriend. I like calm, quiet moments, real connection. He, on the other hand, he talks like his entire self-worth is measured by how many women he thinks he can hook up with. You know the type. Loud, crude, obsessed. Always chasing, always bragging. Always spinning fantasies of conquest that never quite seem to line up with reality. We were standing in line just the other day. Nothing special. A couple of girls in front of us. My cousin notices them and, like clockwork, goes into game mode. Starts with this odd, kind of rude energy. Teasing, interrupting, trying too hard to be slick. I just stood there, quiet, watching it unfold like a car crash in slow motion. They mention a friend of theirs is single. You'd think he'd take the cue, right? But it goes right over his head. Still, after they walk off, he turns to me with this smug grin and says, "They were into me." I could have hit that. I didn't even know what to say. It was like he was living in a completely different reality. And it wasn't just that one time. The night before, we were hanging out, and he was texting this girl. Someone he's known a while, someone who's moving soon. I overhear him say, "I'll miss you. I'm sad now." Seemed genuine, vulnerable even. I thought, maybe this is the real him. But the next day, he tells me flat out he only said that because he wanted to sleep with her. I just stared at him. My stomach dropped. Any shred of sincerity I thought I'd seen? Gone. Just another line in his arsenal. And now, the party. He's hyped about this beach bash like it's his big break. Keeps going on about all the fine girls who'll be there. He doesn't want fireworks. He doesn't want family time. He wants to get butt. That's his phrase, not mine. I told him I didn't want to go. Didn't make a scene. Just told him plainly, "Nah, I'm good." And that's when the storm hit. He starts calling up his friends, telling them I'm selling, telling them he can't go without me, like I'm his ticket in. His personal hype man. Said if his other boys were there, they would have had that locked. Now I'm sitting here, in this small vacation town, where everyone looks at us twice because we're the only black family for miles. And I'm supposed to play along, while he flirts recklessly with strangers who might misread his boldness as a threat. I can't. We're here with our moms. They planned this whole trip. They want us to watch the fireworks together, a rare moment of peace in a busy life. And he wants to ditch that, wants to drag me along as his wingman in some weird personal mission to prove something to himself. I'm not judging him for being single. I'm judging him for how he treats people, for how he talks about women like they're trophies, for how he assumes I'll follow him into that mindset just because we share blood. And yeah, I cracked a joke about the girls being taller than me. It was a throwaway line, just humor. But apparently, that's all some people online could focus on, like my insecurities were the story. But they're not. The story is about the pressure to go along with behavior that doesn't sit right in your soul. The story is about drawing a line, even with family, especially with family. I didn't sign up to be someone's puppet, someone's accessory, someone's backstage crew in their sad one-man show. And still, he kept pushing, kept saying I was making a big deal out of nothing, that it was just a party, that I was ruining the vibe. But it wasn't just a party to him. It was a mission, a conquest, and I was supposed to be his backup, And I couldn't help but think about all the ways that could go wrong. The awkward, clumsy flirting, the entitlement, the misreading of signals, the fact that we're two young black men in a very white space, the way a look or a laugh could turn into a misunderstanding, the way a misunderstanding could become a headline. I thought about what I'd say to my mom if something went wrong. I thought about what I'd say to myself. So I didn't go. I stayed back, watched the fireworks with my mom, laughed at her commentary, took in the smell of grilled corn and sunscreen, listened to the crackle of the sky and the distant splash of ocean waves, and he went without me. I don't know what happened at that party. I didn't ask. I didn't want to know. All I know is, later that night, he barely spoke to me, didn't make eye contact, didn't joke around like he usually does, just sat there, scrolling on his phone, jaw tight. I guess I embarrassed him. I guess I broke some kind of code, but honestly, I'd rather disappoint my cousin than disappoint myself. I'd rather be the boring one than someone who enables behavior I know is wrong. I'd rather stand up quietly than sit down and let things slide. So now, I'm left with this question, one I didn't expect to ask on a family vacation, one I thought was reserved for bigger things. But here it is. So, am I the asshole? Was I wrong for setting a boundary? Was I wrong for not wanting to play along? Was I wrong for saying, no, this isn't who I am? You tell me. Because right now, all I know is, I chose myself. I chose respect. And I chose to stay home. Even if it meant sitting in silence. Even if it meant losing his approval. Even if it meant being the only one who said no. So, AITA? You know, we talk a lot about boundaries like they're some abstract self-help concept. But this story shows how real they are. Setting boundaries isn't always loud. It isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's just choosing not to go, choosing not to follow, choosing not to laugh along when someone crosses a line. And that's hard, especially when it's family, especially when the pressure is subtle. Come on, just go. You're overthinking it. Don't be a buzzkill. But what's harder? Living with yourself afterward, knowing you crossed your own values just to fit in. What I hear in this story is someone trying to walk the fine line between love and integrity. Someone who cares about his cousin, but cares about his conscience more. And that takes guts. So if you're listening to this, and you've ever felt like the odd one out, the one who doesn't play along, the one who says no, the one who walks away from things that don't sit right, I want you to know, you're not alone, and you're not the problem. You're the anchor. You're the clarity in a room full of noise. And maybe, just maybe, you're the one everyone else will remember when the fireworks fade. Now, it's your turn. Have you ever been in a situation like this? Would you have gone to the party or stood your ground? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, stay brave, stay kind, and don't be afraid to be the one who walks away.